Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Let me first start this episode off with saying thank you for everybody that commented on me saying that I was going to take a little time off because my stepmom passed away. It wasn't unexpected. We knew it was eventually going to be coming. We just didn't expect it to be right then. I'm going to tell you what happened. I don't want to, hide it from anybody. There's no reason to, really. My stepmom's health had been going downhill a while. She was 53. Right? She was born in 71. She was 53. Is that right? I think. Anyway, so what, she had cirrhosis, liver failure, kidney failure. She started within the last 2 months filling with fluid, and it just progressively getting worse and getting worse. And at one point, she was like, it's getting hard to breathe because the fluid was getting to her lungs, which was, impacting her, so she couldn't expand her lungs. Anyway, just all of that just kept hit after hit after hit, and finally they recommended dialysis. She didn't want to do dialysis. We talked her into dialysis. She accepted. She got one treatment and then went to the hospital because her hemoglobin levels were so low, and her troponin, which is an enzyme that your heart releases when your heart is under pressure, her troponin was off of the off the books. And they took her to a hospital, and she was staying overnight, and she ended up having her heart just literally stopped. Her blood pressure was so low, the nurses called my dad, because my dad came home to get some clothes and shower and get a little bit of sleep. And they called him and said that, we're just informing you that her blood pressure is so low, and they wanted to give her some medication. So my dad okayed that. And then a little bit later, I think my dad said it was a couple hours later, he got a phone call saying that her heart had stopped and they had been doing CPR, and asked if ask if my dad wanted them to continue to do CPR, and my dad said yes, and he told me later, he said, Alana, I didn't want them to stop because I didn't want her to pass by herself. And I said, I understand that, Dad. And then the next morning we got the phone call that all this had happened. So we flew to the hospital, which is like 2 hours away. We flew up there. She was intubated. When we first got there, I walked in there and I held her hand and I said, I'm here. Well, her name is Sabrina, but we called her Sam. Well, me and my sister called her Sam. Her biological girls called her Mom, or my dad always called her Sabrina, but we knew her as Sam. Everybody knew her as Sam. And I was like, Sam, I'm here. We're all here. It's okay. It's okay. And she opened her eyes real big and she looked at me, and they had her on fentanyl. So, I mean, she was there and then gone, there and gone. But I think she knew that we were there. And they would only let 2 of us back at a time, which I understand since COVID, things have been crazy. But anyway, so we went back, each of us, and a little bit later, the nurses said that that they did the light test on her eye, and her pupils weren't reacting. I instantly knew what that meant. And my sister's a CNA. My other sister is a CNA also. And I just looked at them, and they looked at me, and I was like, okay. And I thought, oh, somebody's got to tell Dad, because I know my dad doesn't know what that means. And I know my 2 stepsisters don't know what that means. Or, well, I think they did, but I didn't at that moment. I wasn't 100% sure. So I feel like I need to explain this. So I'm just pause my story there. Let me say this. I have my stepmom and my dad. my dad had me and my twin sister. So here's Dad, here's me and my twin, and here's Sam, my stepmom, and she had Tony and Tori. So there was 2 from each parent, and then they got together and had my baby sister TJ. So there's me, my twin, my baby sister TJ, and Tony and Tori. So, you know, that big old family. And okay, sorry about that. So then they told us that she wasn't reacting, and I, you know, I knew they had done CPR for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and I was like, man, guys, I don't know how. I don't think she's gonna come out of this. I don't think it's gonna happen. And you know, this is me and my sisters talking. So eventually, fast forward a couple hours, we get a message from the nurses that the doctor wanted to meet with us, the hospitalist, which is the CCU, the critical care unit's doctor. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what's getting ready to happen. And I think we all did. And then they told us that it was a meeting that they wanted to talk about the future. So we all get in there, and she says we can leave her on the vent, slowly taper her off of the fentanyl, and see how she reacts, and see how long, you know, she survives off of that. If she does, she will have to be on 24-hour dialysis, and she will probably never leave the hospital. And we all agreed she would not have wanted to stay on a ventilator. That is not what she would have wanted. And Dad agreed too. And we decided, you know, wean her off the fentanyl, pull the dialysis, pull everything. Let's do this. And they did. And after they pulled everything, we go in there and we all lay around her. We sat around her, and it was about, I would say it was about 15 minutes, and I was holding her leg. My oldest stepsister was in front of me on her left arm. Our baby sister was up by her head, and everybody else was around us. And I was watching her take her last, you know, couple breaths. And when someone's passing and they're laying there, what they'll do, I can't remember exactly what it's called, exsanguinant breaths or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but what it is they'll take a breath, and then it'll be like almost a minute before they take another breath. Well, I noticed it was getting longer and longer. And, you know, there's a little bit of bubbles in her throat, and they would pop whenever she would take a breath, right? So that's how my baby sister knew that she was breathing. Well, I could see her chest, and I was watching, and I was watching her, and my husband was behind me, and he grabbed my shoulder, and he's like, I think she passed, honey. And I was watching, and I said, I know. And then I saw my baby sister look at me, and she said, sis, I think she's gone. And I looked at her and I said, I think she is too. And I asked my husband, I said, will you step outside and see if the nurses will come and confirm? And I think they already knew, because as soon as he opened that door, they were both standing right there. And one of them put the stethoscope on her chest, and she looked at the other nurse, and she's like, I can't tell. So the other nurse did her stethoscope for a few minutes, and she looked at the second nurse, and she shook her head, yeah. And the second nurse grabbed my dad and was like, I am so sorry, Terry. And two of my sisters just completely lost it. I didn't mean that as, you know, negatively. I just meant they lost it. They just was wailing, crying, and we were all crying, obviously, but the reason I bring it up is because I'll never forget it. I'll never forget hearing them. And then we stayed in there with her for quite a while, and then we all decided to, you know, to come home, and we stayed the night with my dad. And the next day went to the funeral home, and, you know, planned everything past that. And I wrote a eulogy with the help of a good friend of mine, and I thought I could do so much better at it. I got up there and I was just shaking like a leaf and was just trying to read it through crying, and I'm like, I thought to myself, I put so much effort into writing this, and in my mind when I was writing it, in my mind I was reading it to everybody, and then I was going to do so much better, and then I got up there and I started reading it, and I was like, I don't even think you guys understand what I'm saying. And I asked my sister later, I was like, did you guys even understand me? And they're like, yeah, a little bit. I was like, yeah, you guys didn't. Anyway, I'm glad on one hand we were all there, and she wasn't alone. On the other hand, there are still times it just hits me out of nowhere, you know, like the crying. Like I haven't cried all day, and then starting to tell you guys, it's like, God, I don't want to cry. So I did take a little time off for that, and that was I had briefly mentioned it before in a couple of videos, but I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to start crying. And then she watches my videos, so she would always tell me, you shouldn't say things like that, or, you know, there are some things you shouldn't say on camera. And I'm like, well, tell me what I shouldn't say, or what did I say that you're saying that to? Anyway, so yeah. I have a hair on my lip. Having said that, I want to thank everybody for all the kind words that everybody said, and for understanding the time I took off. Okay, so, and I'm going to say something, I don't mean it to sound rude, I don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm going to move on, because I don't want to cry. But since I did take a week off, it did set me back on a tutorial that I wanted to get done before Halloween. I wanted to do 2 tutorials before Halloween that was Halloween decoration, and one of them was that little pumpkin pin, the little jack-o'-lantern pin, which I want to tell you guys, I have to say, I was at Walmart and I was picking up a couple groceries, and there was a woman coming behind me in the aisle, then the bread aisle. She was pushing her cart, and of course, so for those of you that don't know, I am like 5'1 3/4. I take that 3/4 because I need it. Anyway, so of course the bread that my husband loves, it's a keto, it's a low carb bread, and they barely have any in stock. Well, of course, what I needed was all the way at the top. So for me to get it, I stood on the bottom shelf, and I'm like reaching to the top to try to get this, and I finally got it. So I'm saying that because as I stepped down, I glanced over and I was like, dang it, somebody saw me doing that, you know, because Walmart employees don't want you to doing that. 5'1", I have to. Anyway, I glanced over and I was like, dang it, somebody saw me. And I glanced over again, and that's when I noticed she had a jack-o'-lantern, excuse me, a jack-o'-lantern pin on. It wasn't the one I made, but I glanced over and I saw that and I was like, and I put my bread in the cart and I was like, I have to say this. So I turned to her and I was like, I have to tell you, I love your pin, your little jack-o'-lantern shirt pin, and I have to show you the one I just made, and I designed it and everything, and she just thought it was the cutest thing ever. Anyway, I got off track. The reason I was saying that was because, like I said, I wanted to have the 2 tutorials before Halloween. Unfortunately, I had to skip a week, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and it's gonna come out the Wednesday before Halloween, which I actually think is the day before Halloween. I think. On one hand, it kind of sucks because I don't want to do a Halloween tutorial that close to Halloween, but on the other hand, it'll be there for next year. Or maybe someone may not want it for Halloween. But I made a little spider. Can you see? How cute is he? And my plan is, I don't know if you, I'm covered in cat hair because I was living on my outside cat. So I'm sorry if you see that. But my plan is you could put a little shirt pin on it, or you could put a magnet on there, or you can put him on the, like if you took white yarn and kind of, made a big old spider web, and you can just, stick him on a little spider web in the corner, or you can stick him on the wall or something. But he's adorable. So I have these special pipe cleaners. My nose is all stuffed up. I have these special little pipe cleaners. Well, come on, what? They're little wave ones. Now, I distinctly remember buying these from Hobby Lobby, and I cannot find them from Hobby Lobby anymore. But I did find some from Amazon, and I ordered them. Cross your fingers, it's what I wanted, because they are actually supposed to be here the day before Halloween, or the Tuesday, which is the day before I would do the tutorial. So fingers crossed that they are just like this, but they're multicolored. So there's black ones, there's yellow ones, there's all kinds of different ones. So my plan is that I'm going to make a whole bunch of little different colored bodies, like the little body right here. And then by the time my Amazon delivery arrives, all I got to do is glue these on, and I'm ready to film my tutorial the day before my tutorial goes out, which I hate doing because I am not a procrastinator. Okay, so I am a procrastinator, and I hate it, and I hate it, so I try my hardest not to do it. So something that puts me the day before it's due, I don't like doing. But anyway, so in the description box, if you want to make these little guys, I'm going to put a link to the ones that I got from Amazon. I think they're also at Michael's and Joann's, but they're a little more expensive, and I'm hoping the ones I ordered are just like this one. Anyway, so we can have all kinds of different little colored spiders. And I just put a little piece of felt underneath because I used a whole bunch of hot glue on the bottom of him. But I think they're so cute. It's the one little spider that's just fuzzy. Okay, so that is going to be an upcoming tutorial. And also, I finished my pineapple shawl. And I'm super excited about it because it's gorgeous. I have it right here, and plan is that is going to be my next tutorial. So it is all blocked. I haven't finished off the edge. I want to do a border, but I thought, I don't know, and I thought, well, I could do tassels, like tassels on the 3 corners of it. And then I thought, that is like the perfect cat toy hanging off of my butt. And I know exactly what'll happen. My cat is going to jump up and attack that and attack me on my butt. And I don't want that to happen because he is the one that has front claws. So no tassel. But here is, let me stand up. Here is my shawl. And it's, like I said, it's all blocked, so when you're wearing it, like I'm just throwing it over me now, you can see perfectly the shape of the pineapples. Oh, am I in love with this? I love this, and I am so happy how it came out, and I'm so happy with the yarn. I love this. My step aunt, my stepmom's sister, was here from Oklahoma for the funeral and everything, and I showed her what I was making, and she goes, I would wear that with a black dress to church. She goes, that would be beautiful. And I'm like, I think I have a black dress that I can fit into now that I lost weight. So maybe, just maybe, if I can find that dress, I will put it on and I'll do a photo shoot for the beginning of that tutorial. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so moving on. I have a baby set that I have been meaning to film a tutorial for, to get it done, to get it to you guys. It's the pickle one, and I don't remember the name that we came up with. It has been a rough month. I don't remember the name we came up with. It was me and one of my subscribers in the comments. She said something about a pickle, because I had said that I wanted to name this set something to do with a pickle because I loved the green in this set, but I didn't want it to be dirty. So, like, perverted, I mean. So but she said something and it was perfect, and I'm like, that's it. I love that, but now I can't remember what you... If you're watching this, will you comment that again, please? I know. It's been a rough... Oh, I'm sorry, Fuzzy Butt. But it is completely done and ready to go. So that is going to be an upcoming tutorial because I can get that done really quick. I've got the pillow cover made, the Afghan is ready, and I've got so much of the green and variegated yarn left. I thought about doing fringe along the bottom and the top. I just might. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that yet. So that's coming. And then I don't know if you guys remember me talking about a baby set that I wanted to make, that I wanted it to be like a solid Afghan, but I wanted it to be, or baby blanket, whatever, but I wanted it to have like a square of the design. So it would be like double crochets, like a row of double crochets, or not a row, like a chunk of double crochet, and then a square of a design, and then a chunk of double crochet, like a solid double crochet, then square of a design, each square being the same design. And I had one I had one going, and I had the design going on it, and I'm just like, I don't like it. I do not like the way this looks. I don't like the way it looks after the design. Anyway, so I came up with another one. Well, what I did was I didn't like it. I set it in the corner, and it sat there, and it sat there. And I was like, you know what? I need to drag that out. I'm to the point where I'm ready to crochet again. I'm happy. Because this month it's been rough. It's harvest. My husband is not the most pleasant person to be around during harvest, and we've been fighting a lot. And then my stepmom passing, and it's just me not working, money, and it's just everything is getting on top of me. So I have not wanted to crochet a lot, but I'm getting my groove back. Things are slowly getting better. So I picked it back up, started working on it again, and I think I've got this. So I lost my hook. So here is what I have got going so far. So you can see the solid chunk double crochet, and then a block of a pattern. Solid block. So it'll come out as squares of the design across the baby blanket. So I'm thinking, once I get, the design worked up so high, it's going to go back, to a strip of the solid double crochet. I think it's gonna work. And I think it's gonna work because I can get these to lay flat, the shells to lay flat. So the design is basically front post and shells, and then it goes back to the double crochet, front post and shells. Can you see how, like, right at my nose, this area right here, how it kind of starts low here, comes up high and goes low? So what that's going to do is, you know, when I go back to solid double crochets, pull that up a bit. I already did it on my chest, but pull it up a bit and it lays straight again. So I think I think this is going to work. It's a lot better than what I had going before. So that's something I got on my hook, and I need to come up with some quick fixes, like little, I call them quick fixes, but what they are just little projects that you can crochet and get done quick. I need to come up with some. So if you guys have an idea of something small that you want me to design that I can get out quick, let me know. Nothing is coming to my mind right now that I can think of. But anyway, so once I got this going and I got this design and I liked that, I was like, I'm ready to design another one. So I have had, I think I have 3 skeins of each color of this yarn. And I've had it forever. And I remember getting it. I had a idea that I wanted to do with it. And it didn't work. So this yarn has been sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting in my stash of yarn. And finally I was like, you know what? I am going to get rid of this. I am sick of looking at this yarn. I want to get a project going with this yarn. And I finally got one. And I'm pretty proud of it. And I love this. So my husband has always said to me, I want to see you design something where a blanket basically, where the color work is vertical, not horizontal, because everything that you see that's color work, or I don't mean to say color work, but like a chevron or what have you, I can't think, it's always horizontal stripes, right? He's like, I want to see vertical stripes. And I thought, okay. So he's told me that for a long time, and I've never designed anything, and then finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use that yarn. Excuse me, and I'm gonna design the vertical stripes that he wants, and be done with it. So here you go. This whole little baby set is gonna be stripes of. That's actually like super soft yellow and pink. The thing of it is that every row is the same direction. So this whole front, all your stitches are facing one direction. All of the stitches are facing to the back on this side. So each row you have to start and end. I'm okay with that, because I think I may just leave the ends and tie them into tassels. Just tie it into a tassel like that. And the yarn feels like butter. Feels like butter. And the colors, lemon and dusty pink. So if you don't know, Feels Like Butter is a 4-weight yarn. It is 9.7 ounce skeins, 275 grams. This is a bonus bundle, so I think it's a larger than average one. I don't know. 590 yards, 540 meters. They recommend a 4mm hook. Oh, thank goodness. I'm using a 4.5. I have a very bad habit of when I design something, I don't write down what hook size I'm using, and if I don't keep the hook next to me, I've got like 5 other projects next to me, so then I'm going, crap, what hook did I use for this? Anyway, so it's 100% polyester. That's what I was trying to find. And it is super soft. It's not the worst thing to work with. It is there. I do notice a difference between other things, but it's not that big of a deal. But I like it, and I'm happy with it. And I'm gonna come up with some really pretty. I'll probably come up with obviously a pillow cover because I love pillow and blanket sets, and then a little dress and booties and a hat or a bonnet or a bow or something to go with it, a little diaper cover, which I never realized that whenever I design things and I design baby sets, I never even thought that I'm not doing a diaper cover when I do a dress. I'm like, duh. Anyway, so be on the lookout for that sometime. And that is it. That is it. There is something good that happened that I want to tell you guys about, that I am a super proud mom right now. My youngest is a senior. She's graduating this year, and we are on her last week of volleyball, and she texted me a screenshot the other day, and it was a Facebook post that our school's conference, we're in the NTC, National Trail Conference, I think it's what it's called. So she was picked as one of the champion conference team members. So I think what that means is that all of the coaches from each team that we play in our conference, because we do have teams that we play that aren't in our conference, pick, and it's not from each school, I don't think it is, pick kids that they would want on an all tournament team. Well, she was one that got picked as a libero. And a libero is a defense specialist, so basically she goes in and out for all of the different players in the back, and they try to keep her in as much as they can in the back because she can do it. I don't want to sound conceited or, but she's good in the back all around, so they keep her in the back row because she can dig, she can hit from the back, she can dig, she can serve good, all of that stuff. But they all picked her as a libero on our team. So I'm super proud of her. Super, super proud of her. She got a little pin, and it says on the back, first team all conference, NTC. I don't know what it says, but I'll insert a picture here if I'll insert a picture. But so yeah, I was super proud of that. We had her senior night the other night. Very proud of her. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. And like I said at the beginning, thank you for sticking with me, because I know sometimes your subscribers, if you don't do a video, if you don't stay consistent, boom, they unsubscribe, and it's just like, okay, whatever. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.